Welcome to The Digital Shift. We are your hosts, Jessica Green
and Natasha Roberson. Together, we are here to help you build a tech-savvy empire and take your business to the next level.
If you're an entrepreneur, social marketer, or business owner, ready to scale smarter, not harder, this is the podcast for you.
Every week, we bring you expert insights, actionable strategies, and the latest trends to help you infuse tech into your business so you can automate, optimize, and grow.
From mastering automation and creating high-converting systems to building authentic customer connections, we cover everything you need to shift your business into higher gear.
So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and get ready to make your digital shift.
Let's do this.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Digital Shift podcast. My name is Natasha Roberson. I am one of the hosts here. Jessica Green is another host that you see on our podcast. But I'm going to be sitting down today with my good friend. I am so honored to now call you a friend because we met not long ago. But Leanne Gabriel, she is a powerhouse in the network marketing space. She took her business from like the manual work and the old school methods. This woman knows her stuff when it comes to building a massive empire using systems. And we have introduced her to the tech, to the space of automation and high performing systems on autopilot. And her and her team have seen some really cool things come from that. We are still working into increasing her automation in that, but it's been fun. But for years, Leanne has built the traditional way. We still build the traditional way. There's nothing more powerful than the conversation, the manual, the talks, the follow-ups, the live events and stuff like that. But she is the expert when it comes to really keeping her team engaged and making sure they know what's happening, when it's happening. So she gets high attendance rates and they just keep crushing it. So I'm excited to be interviewing you today, Leanne. I cannot wait for our entire audience to hear from you. And you just dropped probably thousands of golden nuggets, millionaire tips. So, but first, I would love for you just to share with them a little bit about you. You've been in the network marketing space for, I think, 29 years at the same company, but tell us a little bit about you and what drives you when you wake up in the morning.
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I mean, it has been such a blessing to get to know you. Initially, I was just excited about all the miracles you could perform professionally for me, but you're just a blast. I really love working with you and Jess and the company. It's been such a positive experience. So thank you for, being a friend too. It's been great. I have been, I now hit my 30 years. It's 30 years now. It's crazy. And professionally, my background is I'm an attorney. And when I first started out, I was working full-time as a discrimination lawyer in downtown Baltimore. Just wrap your head around that for a hot minute. The reason I started looking for something else is because my husband and I owed a fortune in student loans. We have very, very, very expensive educations. And I started to do the math and figure out how old I would be before I ever paid it off. And it was quite frightening math. So I wanted something. I didn't want another job. And frankly, in the career I was in, you can't really have another job because at any minute you could be demanded to be here or there. It's just a crazy world that living in as an attorney. So I was looking around and network marketing made a lot of sense. Home-based businesses make a lot of sense. I was very intimidated initially because I am not a salesperson at all, but I did find a company that was service-based, and that made me feel more comfortable because we were just marketing things that people were already using. So I didn't have to convince them that they needed some product that they might not at that moment or might be a financial struggle. But if somebody's already paying a bill and I could help them, I figured I'd dive in. So I dove in, did not do very well. I like to give people the real story, sorry. But if you ever started direct sales or network marketing and you don't come out of the gate 100 miles an hour, I gotcha. So I was slow, struggled, but over time, learned from some great people and, hit the highest position in my company and, ended up just going full time. So at this point in time, I'm very fortunate that I no longer practice law. I still am licensed to, but I am in the industry full time.
I love it. I love this quote that I pulled as I was doing some for this podcast was like, when you want to go to the next level, it comes down to your systems and how well you infuse them into your business and your team. And automation does not replace leadership. It just amplifies it. I love that, because when I think of you, I think of, man, you are a rock star with the systems, right? You had it down. We amplified it. We just took it to the next level with you and your team. And so I'm just going to say, before we jump into more questions, is this episode, if you're on and you're wondering, is this episode for me? Is it not? Not sure. Well, this is going to be for all of those network marketing or entrepreneurs looking to lead. They want to scale beyond their manual efforts. They are on, you might be an entrepreneur struggling with event attendance. This woman, I'm telling you, from what I've seen, you want to hear what she has to say about that. Business owners who need duplication and duplicatable systems that work for traditional business owners that want to do it the old school way, but yet those that want to go into the little bit of the digital shift. This is for you, as well as leaders who are ready to take that step into automation without losing that authenticity and losing those connections, because that is a big thing I know with you, is that connection with individuals, with humans, and we never want to lose that. So if you're cool, let's get started in here. So talk to us real quick about just your methods, like your systems you had in place prior to meeting us and putting us into that digital shift with you. But talk to us about that and what systems have done for you.
It's really important to have them because, first of all, duplication is everything. Whether you're in network marketing or you're building a real estate team, you have to be able to get the quality information to the people that are working with you. And the problem is that little trickle down the lane. So if you have some information and you give it to someone and they retain half, and then give it to them and they retain half of the half, and then all of a sudden you've got people who have no idea what they're doing. But if you're going to build a scalable business, you can't be there for everybody. So the question becomes, how do you duplicate yourself? And there are a lot of components that will allow you to do that. But I realized early on that I needed to have other people who knew how to present, other people who knew how to train. There were all these things that I needed to do. So by trial and error, I started to set up systems. And we have a system when people join our business, if they want to learn to present, there's a very clear defined path, and everybody in the team knows what it is. And this is how you develop a presenter. If somebody wants to train, there's a system to do that as well. But one of the biggest things I found is events. And I do really believe that events are crucial, really crucial in my industry, no matter what it is that you're selling, but just crucial generally for, look, real estate agents have conventions, everybody has conventions and things like that. But to have people be able to get a bigger picture of what they're doing and have people be able to learn from people who are more experienced, maybe they identify with someone they meet at a conference who has a similar personality or background. So somewhere along the path, I thought, if I can get enough people to events, they get big decisions made, big goals set, and they're off to the races. So we started promoting events, and it really is kind of a way of identifying who your next wave of leaders is. So we promoted events like crazy. But then as the events grew, I'm like, well, how do I get to all these people? So one of the first systems I set up a long time ago was a texting system. And everybody I work with, they got in a blanket texting system. And if I needed to say, hey, there's an event, this is what's going on, everybody got the message. I didn't have to worry about somebody forgetting to tell somebody else, and I had some basic things like that. But what I did discover along the way, though, is I was really doing well with the event system, really doing well with the system of helping people learn to present and teaching people to make money. We were knocking that out of the park. The problem was the mass quantity of leads that were slipping through our fingers. And that was really a big frustration. If somebody's building their business on social media, they can often capture a lot of the leads that way. Even there, though, you do risk have that risk of your page getting shut down or getting hacked. So how do you have a system that is a database of all the people you're coming into contact with so that you can help them, or maybe if the timing isn't right and it's going to be 6 months later, you still can find that person. And that is when the hunt began. I joined a global mastermind and started asking people, what do you do? And a lot of people looked at me and went, I don't know.
Right? So that's so true. That is the answer for so many.
I was in this room with some of the most successful people in the world from Europe, Latin America, Dubai, and they're all looking at me like, I don't know, what are you doing? And then thank God I found your company because you had all these things in place and could customize them for my business. And that has been just revolutionary now, really revolutionary.
I love that. So I remember, when you were asking, like, how do I help people? Or I asked you the question, or maybe Jess asked it when we were on a call, but she was like, so how are you following up with people? What's your system right now? Where do you put people's names? And you're like, and your answer was
in my calendar. It's embarrassing at this moment.
oh my gosh, because how many leads you got. Like, look how many people you're talking to. We're like, how is she keeping track of that?
I did the best I could, but I'm not going to look at you in the straight face and say I wasn't bleeding them all over the place at the same time. So the ones that I could capture their information, I had a really antiquated way of running it through my calendar, but it worked for me, not duplicatable at all. There's definitely some challenges to that aspect of it. But what was truly interesting is that you not only found a way to help me capture leads, but my whole team can capture leads. And we have an automated follow-up system. It's crazy. So I believe that it's important to combine technology with the old, what's that expression, like belly to belly?
Belly to belly.
If you live off of strictly technology, you lose people because they have no connection, no loyalty, they're not attached. And when things get tough, they're out. So you have to balance the two, but you can't do everything manually like Tyrannosaurus Rex here was doing because you can't build that thing. You're limited if you don't infuse technology.
And what I love about your team, and we work with a lot of network marketing leaders and entrepreneurs, and your team is so unique because of the product services that you offer. You work with educated, high level, onto like career driven individuals. You have attorneys, you have doctors, like these people. When I started to hear who was on your team, I'm like, they have no time for this manual mess of follow-up. And we needed to find a solution, like you said, for you, but more importantly, for the duplication to happen through the team. Because there's just, when I was thinking about that, I'm like, these are not stay-at-home moms that are busy with these random little things throughout the day where they can fit it into the nooks and crannies. These doctors, these attorneys, they're not fitting it in. That's not happening. And but they see the vision, right? You have this dream, this vision. They see it, but how do you do it? And so we built this really cool system for you. Do events, right? You're events like driven, which is awesome because we believe in events too. We believe virtual is great, in person is even better, right? How many times can we get this information out? And how do we get it into the individual's hands, right? But when your team's able just to send them to a link, a website that has detailed information about what they're going to learn in a sense, and they can register, now you have set up the follow-up on autopilot for them, literally on autopilot.
It's crazy. And yeah, the demographic of my team is usually people who have a good job or a good career and they have families. So what they're missing is residual income. Lawyers don't make residual income. Dentists don't make residual income. Real estate agents, with one or two exceptions, don't make much residual income. They're not making money every time the person pays their mortgage, for example. They're getting paid one time. People who run nonprofits or work for the government, they have good careers, but they realize that they're trading their time for money. And the question is, how do they put residual income into their life when they're doing all that, and they might have kids and they're running off to soccer games and 10,000 other things. So what we designed was, you could offer somebody a service or help them save money on a bill, and then you get this residual income that comes every month for connecting once. However, some of the people would look at it and go, I really want that, but I don't have time. I don't know how to do that. So you and the brilliant team, I'm just going to brag on you. I didn't ask permission, so I'm just going to do this if that's okay.
I'll let you.
One of our hottest services right now, and if you don't mind me sharing, but one of the hottest things we're doing right now has been healthcare. Healthcare has been in the news a lot. People are mad. They're paying way too much money. And we found this awesome nonprofit company that's cutting people's bills 50%. It's incredible. And every time I put it in front of somebody who pays their own healthcare, they're like, oh my God, I need to do this. The challenge is, how do we have an army of people explaining all of it? And that's where Natasha and company comes into place. So what we did is we built this, we have a Zoom. It's online event where we explain it, but you design a simple, brilliant procedure. So anybody who wants to invite someone to look at this service has a special link. They text the link out to the person who wants to learn more. That's all you got to do. You pick up your phone and you go like this, and you send the person a link. That takes me longer to explain it than it does for someone to send a link. So they send the link out. Let's say they talk for 30 seconds, shoot them a link. They've invested an entire minute. And then the person gets a welcome letter saying, oh, we're so glad you're registered, blah. And at the bottom of the letter is the name of the person who gave them the link, customized. How about that? Then out goes a reminder a day or two later and says, don't forget, we're excited for you to be there, and customize in there, giving little drips of the value of what they're going to learn. And then there's another one. And then right before it starts, there's another one. So now not only are people getting reminded, so they end up showing up, but if someone's busy and they don't have time to remind their prospect, or they're too shy to remind their prospect, it doesn't matter because the abracadabra technology is doing it for them. Then they even get a thank you afterwards. And we can go back, look in the hub that you've built us, and see every single person who was invited and who was on an event, who was going to an upcoming event. We can reach back out to those people. We can email or text those people. It's just incredible. It really is.
It is. And, one piece off of that we still need to build for you, which is going to be even more powerful, is a nurture sequence afterwards, because we know, right? You've said it. How many times to your team have you said the fortunes in the follow-up? That's where the goal is.
1,000 times easily,
1,000 times in a day, right? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you're missing the follow-up. But here's the deal we found is people don't know when to send a follow-up, don't know what to say.
Mhm.
And then they're like, oh, this is kind of awkward. It's been so long, right? They're in this awkward stage. Do you agree? Like that's like a big pain point of entrepreneurs in the sales space. You're in network marketing, is that follow-up.
It is. And they don't know what to say, or, their kid gets sick and they forget about it. And they're like, oh my God, I dropped the ball. And now what do I say? I didn't call them, or they're just intimidated, all of that stuff. So it's really amazing. And the other thing, can I share one more brilliant thing you did?
Yes.
Okay. The other thing is, obviously, I'm teaching a lot of people how to build a residual income. And the healthcare thing is just one of the services we offer. We have all these other services, but what about the people who are trying to make money, not just look at saving money on one of their bills? And there came in a whole other festival of things that you've built. So we run an online training. They can register for an online training. So they can pop in, register, same thing, sends them the reminders, takes care of everything. We capture their name. But also you built a training portal for me, which, oh my God, anybody who's running a business, no matter what you do, especially if you're in network marketing, but no matter what you do, you find yourself saying the same daggone thing 20 million times, because there's certain basics that need to be in place all the time. So you guys designed a training academy for me, and people can log into this portal and you can coach me on how to do it. I mean, it was awesome. So I'll have a little topic, and there's a little video of me saying the thing I have to say 100,000 times a day, and then a supporting document attached to it. So all of a sudden, I'm finally, just today, I was onboarding somebody, and instead of me having to do that because I wanted to be here with you, I said, hey, do me a favor. I told her, I said, go watch this video and do this, and then I'll give you a call after I do this podcast. So by the time I get off the podcast, she's going to know all the things I'd have to have spent an hour explaining to her. So thank you for that too.
You're welcome. And that comes down to another really good topic I want to talk about is retention versus always in recruit mode, right? Like
Yes,
if we learn about retention and the systems to put in place for retaining, we don't have to always be like, oh, I need more people because those people left. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, I think longevity is everything, because I don't want to be in a burn and churn business. I want to be in a business. Like, I have people that have been working with me for 15 years, 20 years. Like, I have people who've been around a long time. And, we built great camaraderie and great relationships, but there are people who go through things. There are people who will have a personal issue, a health issue, they'll go through a divorce, and they kind of check out. So the question then is, how do you make sure that you can bring those people back into the fold and support them? So there's a lot of different things that we're able to do. Sometimes it might be something new and exciting. So maybe somebody was tuned out a little bit, and then we launched another service, And we now have a way to communicate with everyone and say, hey, here's what's going on. We have a service. Today, I have another great thing we're going to be doing. I'm traveling next week and I'm going to be doing a little tour of a couple cities. And while I'm there, because of the system that you built me, I can now send out a targeted message to just the people who live in the markets that I'm hitting and just say, hey, I'm coming into town, etc. Would love to see you at the event. And that way they're getting something that applies to them. They know I'm going to be right there in their city. And if I didn't have a way to screen through who lived there with the team that I have, I don't know how in the world I would communicate. There's no way you're going to remember everybody. There's no way you're going to capture everybody. But one of the things you built for me was the people that I'm mentoring, there's a little place where it says what state they're in. So if I travel around the US, I can just go, oh, bing, let's talk to all the people in Ohio today. Let's talk to the people in Pennsylvania today. It's amazing because sometimes when someone's checked out, all they do is get in front of you. They get around everybody that they work with. They're like, oh my God, I love this. What was I doing? I need to get re-engaged. Just that moment of being around people can do so much, but they can't get there if they don't know about it.
Exactly. And I love that you bring up that targeting marketing, right? Because the communication is key. But I'll get things and I'm like, this has nothing to do with me. Like, and then I'm like, is this spam? Like, do I want to say stop? But I do like some of the stuff they send me. So that's going to eliminate those individuals from being like, oh, Leanne, stop. They type out stop and then they don't get any communication from you.
Yes.
It's so awesome. And one thing we built, which was super cool, is you have these events, and a lot of your events are complimentary, no charge. But then there's other ones where you have a small charge to it. So we were able to, in your team calendar, which is bad ass, by the way, all the things on there. And you can actually have not just events of these calls, but we put on a boot camp, right? We put a boot camp in there. And they were able to pay, and it all was registered through one system. You didn't have to go to Eventbrite and then go over here. It was like one place. That was super cool.
That was awesome because in the past we were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Almost everything I do is free. We do run one leadership boot camp to kick off the new year every year in January. And everyone's got to be fed and there's all this stuff, and it's a little more complicated than a normal event. It's a whole day thing. People come in from all over the country. And when you did that, I went, oh my God, this is just amazing. And then they got a little confirmation, and it was even reminding them, don't forget, make your plans. Like they had everything handled. I didn't have the usual drama of somebody goes, I don't have a room. Oh my God, I forgot when it was coming. I registered a month ago and forgot about it.
Where's the address again? We sent the address, I think, 5 times.
What's the ballroom name that we're supposed to go to?
And I even remember I wrote out a text for them that was, it's starting time. Get in the room, find your seat.
That's the other thing. Because we have a lot of camaraderie in the team, they'll all be out talking in the hall because when we have this big event, they haven't seen each other in a long time. And I was like, this is amazing. I'm not sending people out in the hall, telling them to come on in because their phone's doing it for me. But there is something else I want to share that.
Yes.
This whole follow-up system, like the whole capture system, all of this stuff, it's really enabled me, I should say, to attract people who have a lot going on. Where in the past, somebody would go, well, that looks like a good opportunity, but I don't see how I can make that work. Well, then the other day we did one of those, Zooms for healthcare, actually. We did one for healthcare. And I was speaking with someone and I said, hey, look, I know you're excited about it. There's an opportunity for you to be an affiliate and generate a residual income. He goes, well, that'd be great, but I don't know if I have time. And I said, well, think about what your friend did. She sent you a link on a text message. He's like, yeah. And I said, and then after that, she didn't really do anything else, right? He started laughing. I said, you got an automated reminder, you got an email, you got a text message. When you got on the Zoom, your friend wasn't even on there. She wasn't even speaking. She didn't bring a PowerPoint. Like, could you do that? And that simplicity and the humor behind it and going, yeah, all she really did was send me a text message. I said, you can use the same link. Do exactly what she just did. And that lets you get busy, successful people into your business, which is really powerful.
That is so powerful. And, I remember when we met, you were like, I am the least techie person, right? And so we hear that every day, all day. I'm not even kidding. It's crazy. But like, if somebody's listening to today and hearing like all these incredible systems and how you've implemented them in your team, but like, I know I need it, but it seems overwhelming or scary. Like, what would you give them?
Oh, just like, listen, sometimes you have to know when to pay somebody to do it for you.
So true.
I was last week, I was at this mastermind a week ago, the same one where I was looking for information the first time. And this time I knew what to do. And I started talking to some people and I got in a conversation. And I said, look, I've struggled with technology. And no offense to you, you're incredible. And I love what you've built me, but I hate technology. I don't want to design it. I don't want to figure it out. My son went to college. That was my tech helper. And he left me and went to college. So, I'm just thinking, I don't like any of this, but I got on a Zoom with you guys and said, here are my pain points. Here's what I'm struggling with. Here's what I need. And then you designed it. That's incredible to be able to do that. And sometimes people will hesitate. They're like, well, it's not hard. I mean, I remember when we were talking about setting up the Zoom, you came up with the name for the Zoom link that people would register. You went into my GoDaddy account. I didn't. You set the whole thing up. I didn't. You did everything. So then I just got on a Zoom with some of my leaders and I said, hey, we have this new link here. And I gave them out the link and they were all impressed and then looking at me, there's no way I did it. But time and money have a really crucial relationship. And if you can get your time back doing things that don't maximize your skill set, it's so important to do it. So all the hours and hours I would spend reminding people who need to remind people, like just the quantity of time I wasted. In that time, I could have been mentoring somebody, putting money in their pocket, training somebody, or I could have just been hanging out and gone on a date night with my husband, but anything better than doing that. So to me, you spend a little money up front to get this set up, and then it's all turnkey. You get your life back, your people get your life back, and your results increase. So just bite the bullet. It's not bad when somebody else does it for you. That's my advice.
We taught that, and I do it for myself. Like, I'm 17 years as an entrepreneur, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, time or money, right? I'm good, both, one or the other or both. And I've always found mentors that help me get there faster, right? They've been through it. It's like, why would somebody join your team? Because of what you have accomplished, you can help them get from A to Z much faster than you did. And by following simple things that work and avoiding the things that don't work. Same thing with tech, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can spend hours and hours, days, years building things out because it is a skill you could learn and it would take time and frustration, or you can pay to make it go faster.
And it's your highest and best use. Time is the one thing that we all can't expand on. So my highest and best use is going to be helping people make residual income. That's what I do professionally. If I'm not doing that, then I want to be, out playing with my puppy, going on a date with my husband, working out, or doing something else. But the things that are not my skill set, it makes sense to set them up to just go away and have all of that managed. And once you do it, I'll never go back. I mean, now I can't stop telling everybody. I was actually on last night with one of my closest friends, someone who mentored me for years and years and years. And I said, you got to see this. And I was showing him, I'm sending him, look at all this stuff they made for me. And he's in direct sales too. And he's like, oh my God, I need that. I was like, yeah, you totally need that because there's so many hours in the day. That's what it comes down to.
There is. There is. And, and I know you're in network marketing. We have talked all about that, but you also have a podcast of your own.
Yes.
So I would love to invite everybody that's listening to go check out your podcast. Where can they find you? What is that?
Thank you. During the pandemic, when I was on lockdown and stir crazy,
weren't we all?
half of the world was, I was looking for something positive. And back then the news was depressing and, there had not been any vaccine and no one could leave their house and there was no Christmas. I mean, it was just the worst. So I thought about what I'd done over the years and my background when I did discrimination law. I also did quite a bit of cases for glass ceilings for women. So I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool to make a platform that featured women? And so what I did is I started this thing called Slay with Leanne Gabriel, and Slay is SLAE. It stands for She Leads and Empowers. And it's all about women that are making a difference. I've had authors, poets, top real estate agents, people who are doing cutting edge technology. I interviewed Jess on there. I interviewed Jess before she built all this stuff for me. I'm like, I ended up hiring her. I'm going, well, I need to go interview her or you again and bring you back over there. But people who are running nonprofits, people who are impacting their community. I mean, I've had people from other sides of the world saving turtles and some of the biggest mortgage loan officers in the country. But we're just looking for women that make a difference. So if that's something compelling to you, please go check it out. For sure. It's on a podcast and on YouTube too.
I love it. I know I've listened to quite a few of your episodes and they are like, it's just, I love those stories, right? Of that empowerment, that inspiration. Like when I'm just sitting, walking on my walking pad and just need to hear something, like I'll go to your podcast, I'll go to a couple others in the industry, and I just love it. I love that amount of knowledge, but inspiration. I love it.
Yes.
So I want to ask you one last question.
Sure.
Any final words for leaders? Because every single one of them that are listening to this is a leader. I truly believe that. Who are looking and want to scale, but they're afraid to fully embrace technology. What are some final words that you would like to give them?
Okay, first things first. Let me just give you the context. When I started in direct sales and network marketing, there was no such thing as a website.
Right.
I'm dead serious, because I've been in the same company for 30 years. And I remember I went to one of our conferences and they said, we're going to get a website. And I leaned over to my friend. I was like, what's a website? This is how long I've been doing it. It's horrible. So, you can't be worse than me. That's the first thing I said. But the second thing is we have to face the reality of what is happening. And if you don't embrace technology for yourself, to get your time back and to produce better results, the truth of the matter is you can't attract the next generation into your business because that's all they know. My son, he's a college student. Everything is online all the time. Everything,
even their books,
everything's, he's talking to me about exams and which ones he's going to do online and which ones he has to go to class for to take his exam. I mean, it's crazy. So it's a different world. And if you want to have a young, energetic, up and coming star join whatever business you're in, you have to be able to appeal to them. And that leaves me one more thing. I hope you're not going to mind, but just Monday, I had a conversation with somebody who was looking at our company. And when he was really excited, he knew I'd been doing it a long time. He was hoping that, we could connect. So I connected with him. And then I showed him the systems that we have. And he's much younger than I am. And he looked and he goes, this is what I'm looking for. And he got started right away. That's how you bring great people on. And that's how you'll also be able to get the next wave.
Yeah, that's so good. That is so good. Technology is the wave. And, just like the iPhones, right? The iPhones are constantly, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so outdated. I just got this a year ago. And that's the same thing. And, if we can eliminate some of the manual overwhelm or the stress of, I don't have enough time to get this done. But I know how powerful it is if I do it. If we can eliminate some of that stress, we know that we're going to be able to enhance your life, your business, and with you, duplicate it throughout the whole team. So we are excited. We love working with you and
love working with you.
Cannot wait for more and more people in your team and those that join you to embrace that technology and embrace the fact that it doesn't all have to be manual. And one thing, I was talking with somebody yesterday, actually, she was like, oh my gosh, because I have follow-up on autopilot, I'm touching people more than I ever did before.
Yes.
I was like,
if somebody's listening to this, just call Self-Made and make an appointment and see what they have to, because I will tell you this, this was the last question, so don't fire me here. I'm just saying, I had looked for a couple systems and sometimes people talk to you and they don't know what they're talking about in 5 minutes. You're like, no. Then I talked to some other company. He goes, I've got this system. And I was getting a headache listening to him. Like, oh my God, this is so complicated. And the more he talked, the more time consuming and complicated it seemed to learn it. And he said, well, once you learn it, and I'm thinking, I don't want to slow down my whole business. No. But when I got on with you guys, all I had to do was really brain dump what I needed. And then you made it all magically. So I would say if you're thinking about it, you can set up a little consultation or whatever, and get it and see what they can do for you, because you'll never go back. Instead of being busy trying to send out last minute messages, I could straighten my hair. My hair's super curly. I straighten my hair and, I could do all the important things. No, but I'm getting the time back to really be able to enjoy myself and relax and not be stressed about things being handled. You all have been just a total gift. I'm so grateful for your seriousness. Really am.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate you. So if you've been listening to this and you're like, all right, I need what she's talking about, what she's laying down, I need that. Just head over to our website. You'll find all our links below. You'll also find Leanne's podcast links below, how to get connected to her. And Leanne, like always, I am so appreciative of you. And thank you so much for spending some time with me today.
Such an honor. Thank you, Natasha.
You're so welcome.
Thanks for tuning in to The Digital Shift. We hope today's episode gave you the tools and inspiration to take your business to the next level.
Don't forget, we have something for everyone to help you scale smarter. Whether you're just getting started or ready to go all in, we've got you covered.
Start with 14 days of free access to the Self-Made Hub, our all-in-one platform to automate, optimize, and grow your business.
Looking for more? Check out our Self-Made membership, where you can work at your own pace with help from your tech-savvy mentors.
Or take it to the next level with our 10-week accelerator program, perfect for those ready to scale with expert guidance and systems all in one place.
And if you're looking for done-for-you options, from custom funnel builds to fully done-for-you marketing systems customized just for your business,
visit us at self-made.biz to explore all of our programs and tools and find the perfect fit for your business needs.
Let's make your digital shift a reality. See you next time.